Here with this week's hottest stories in the investment world, this is Zach's Friday Finish Line.
Hello and welcome back to the Zach's Friday Finish Line. My name is Ryan McQueeney. I'm an associate stock strategist here at Zach's, and I am joined by one of our editors, Maddy Johnson.
Today is Friday, November 30th. Where did the year go?
Wow, it's crazy.
I mean,
It's almost December.
It's almost December.
It will be December imminently.
I mean, granted, the snow is gone. It's a little bit warmer here in Chicago.
Yeah. We almost died on our way in from falling ice from the buildings. Yeah.
But so I'm glad that it's getting, back to the averages instead of like where like the average lows are the highs.
Yeah.
I'm not really ready for that type of cold quite yet.
No.
But it's almost the end of the year. It's almost 2019. I can't believe
Very Christmas season.
it is very Christmas season. But we're here to recap this week's biggest stories from the investment and financial world. There have been some positive headlines, some negative headlines, and some quote unquote wild headlines pouring out of Wall Street, DC, around the world, all over the past few days. So we certainly have our hands full.
Yes, we're going to start with the Fed and Jerome Powell because, of course, the stock market had its best day in 8 months on Wednesday, celebrating what investors saw as Fed Chair Jerome Powell softening his language on rate hikes. Specifically, Powell said that borrowing rates were just under the central bank's target, which Wall Street interpreted as a blink from the Fed chair. Seems like a step down from the hawkish long way off comments Powell made just a few months ago. So it's pretty clear, we've discussed on the show many times, that investors are nervous about the pace of rate hikes. And now it seems that Fed has kind of heard those concerns or raised its own concerns by observing other things, and has taken a slightly dovish turn. Those nerves from investors are now a little bit cooled. I don't think it's, a huge shift in sentiment or policy, but definitely one that investors noticed. Kind of seems reminiscent of former Fed Chair Janet Yellen's policy. Yellen, of course, always said that the committee's decisions would be data dependent, and I'm getting the sense maybe that the data has changed a little bit for the Fed. And, just kind of the overall scope of things has changed a bit, as we should, of course, remember a set of tariffs that are currently sitting at 10% right now are set to move up to 25% at the new year, which, as we just discussed at the top of the show, is very soon. And this is the type of thing that would be really crushing if rates rise too quickly. We'll get into the hopes, the possibility, maybe the odds of a trade deal coming together soon, specifically between the U.S. and China, later in today's program. But I definitely think Jerome Powell's paying attention to that type of stuff right now, and maybe that explains why he went a little bit more dovish during his speech on Wednesday. So definitely something to keep an eye on as we approach the last Fed meeting of the year here in a couple weeks, I believe.
And
I believe it's mid-December.
Janet Yellen was also in the news earlier this week because of her height, and the fact that was apparently too short.
Yeah.
So if you did Google Janet Yellen like I did, the first Google suggestion was Janet Yellen height. So not only were many people Googling her height.
Yeah. Is she short? Seems like she might be relatively short.
She's around 5'3", which I think that's just a fine height.
She was a great Fed chair too.
She was a great Fed chair.
Very capable.
Anyways, I just thought it was pretty funny that's why she was back in the news, but also because of our president.
Yeah.
But moving on, little levity. Black Friday, Turkey 5 sales.
Turkey 5.
So Amazon apparently dubbed the Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday mega holiday shopping weekend extravaganza the Turkey 5.
Yeah.
Last year. But this year, it was like historically busy.
Yeah.
And Amazon said that this year's Turkey 5 broke records, with the e-commerce behemoth alone selling 180 million items during the holidays.
That's a big
Just like the start of
That's a big number.
of like the Christmas shopping season or the holiday shopping season. Amazon also noted that Cyber Monday was the largest single shopping day in its history. So Cyber Monday 2018,
Yeah.
record breaking for Amazon.
Yeah. Turkey 5 overall.
Did you
Really.
buy anything on Cyber Monday?
I did not. Maybe I did. I didn't do any holiday shopping on Cyber Monday. Let's note that while I frequently discuss the busyness of the shopping holidays and I'm obsessed with the data and the figures and stuff, I do all of my Christmas shopping on like December 23rd. So
Fair enough. You can find a lot of great deals in the days leading up to Christmas. I did a lot of my Black Friday shopping on Wednesday, so the Wednesday before
Turkey
Thanksgiving.
6 even then, right?
Yeah. So a lot of retailers had their Black Friday deals, like the week of Thanksgiving. So like
Yeah.
starting like that Monday, and like the deals like progressively got better. So you just kind of had to like wait it out and like make a judgment call.
Yeah, I don't know if it's kind of getting ridiculous at this point. I might be late on declaring it ridiculous because it probably got ridiculous a couple years ago. But Turkey 5 is now, as you've said, it's really a Turkey week and a half because it starts before Thanksgiving, and you can still basically every website that was doing Cyber Monday promotions,
They're
you
like
can still do it today.
I
It's
think
Cyber
they end
Week
today.
deals.
Yeah.
So
I know randomly the Container Store. I don't know if you've ever shopped
Oh, I
there.
love a Container Store. Yeah, it's
It
amazing.
it really makes you want to organize your entire life times 100.
No, it's Container Store's great.
So they're doing like a week, like a 20% off something every single day this week.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, do I need a spice rack? Do I need to organize my bathroom? Like
Yeah.
I get the
You
email
didn't,
and I'm like,
but now you do.
now
yeah.
like I'm really seriously considering it.
Yeah.
So it's good marketing on their part. Anyways, so it wasn't just Amazon, but it was like the entire retail industry. Over 165 million people, me, you, maybe. I know you were busy in Vegas.
That's two.
We all shopped during the Turkey 5, Turkey week and a half, beating expectations slightly. The National Retail Federation reiterated its holiday shopping forecast of 4.3% to 4.8% sales growth. That's pretty nice. Overall, e-commerce was basically all the rage this year. Adobe Analytics said late Monday that Cyber Monday brought in $7.9 billion in online sales, up 19.7% on a year-over-year basis. And this is like all of online sales, so not just Amazon. This beat Adobe's estimate for the day. Plus, other data shows that about half of shoppers did less than 25% during the period, meaning that we should see upbeat shopping trends for the next few weeks.
So you get out, you start your shopping during the Turkey 5. You don't do anywhere near all of it.
Yeah.
And then you continue to shop for the next month and a half.
I mean, I still have shopping to do.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, as I mentioned, I'll be doing all my shopping December 23rd, so I guess you can count me in that number. Really impressive stuff. I think the only thing I'm frustrated with here is that Amazon has labeled this Turkey 5 because it reminds me of Midwestern dads who call Thanksgiving Turkey Day, which I've
called it Turkey Day, I think, multiple times on this podcast.
So I don't know if that Turkey 5 thing is going to catch on. I've only seen Amazon use it / I've only seen people report on Amazon using it. So we'll see if that catches on. But at what point is there just going to be a day that the deals start and they continue to be the exact same and it's just the same thing for a month and a half instead of just having these shopping holidays? We talked about, just a couple weeks ago when we did our Black Friday podcast, or maybe last week when we did our Black Friday podcast, we did it's Thanksgiving, which is now Black Thursday in some cases, Black Friday, Small Business Saturday, which of course Amazon's concerned deeply about. We don't have a name for that Sunday yet, do we? It's just part of Turkey 5 and then Cyber Monday. Maybe we could come up with something for that Sunday, and that could be how we make it in the marketing world.
There you go. And remember when the Wednesday before Thanksgiving was just a day to drink with all your high school
Black
friends?
Wednesday, yeah.
It's called Black Wednesday, but
yeah.
now I think it has taken on a new meaning
Yeah.
for retailers.
Yeah, when you go to your hometown bars and see everybody from high school you haven't seen in like 5 years, and regrettably get very drunk in front of everybody. Maybe there's an English teacher there who's hanging out with you. Yeah,
You're
it's
just
a great
like,
time.
this is weird.
Yeah, it's a great time. Anyway, moving into some other news from this week. We also had some earnings reports trickling in late or trickling in early. I don't know if
It's that weird time.
Yeah, we're right in the mid not really earnings season, but there's still a few people reporting. We had a lot of kind of these trendy cloud tech growth momentum stocks coming in this week, including the king of all of them, Salesforce. Really, really solid stuff from Salesforce this week. Adjusted earnings of 61 cents per share crushed the Zacks consensus estimate of 50 cents and improved 56% year over year. Revenues of $3.4 billion increased 26% from the year ago period, also surpassed the Zacks consensus estimate ever so slightly. A couple key areas of growth for the company were the Service Cloud. It's one of the largest and fastest growing businesses Salesforce has. Revenues there jumped 24% to $917 million. Marketing and Commerce Cloud revenues surged 37% to $489 million. Also raised some guidance. This is the key part. As we always say, got to have a beat and raise quarter in this market environment. For fiscal 2019, Salesforce says now revenues are likely to be between $13.23 billion and $13.24 billion. Very specific guidance there, I will note. 26% rise year over year, up from the previously anticipated even more specific 3.125 to 3.175 billion. That might be the most down to the number specific revenue guidance I've ever seen. And that, of course, includes about $375 million of contribution from the recently acquired MuleSoft. Non-GAAP earnings now envisioned to be in the range of $2.60 per share to $2.61 per share, up from the past view of $2.50 to $2.52. Shares up over 12% in the past week. Investors rewarding that pretty decent, pretty solid overall report from Salesforce.
Yeah, definitely.
Still growing astronomically, but definitely by and large a segment leader in that cloud software sales and marketing services area.
Yeah, it's still a big industry. So another another earnings report we had was from retailer Dick's Sporting Goods. So they reported earnings of 39 cents per share, which beat the Zacks consensus estimate of 27 cents. And earnings grew 30% from the year ago quarter. Revenues were about $1.9 billion, down 4.5% year over year, and came in below estimates. Consolidated comparable store sales were down 3.9%. E-commerce sales grew 16% year over year, however, and represented about 12% of total sales. And this is up from 10% last year. Gross margin improved 72 basis points to 28.2% during the quarter. The company ended the period with cash and cash equivalents of $92 million against roughly $382 million in outstanding debt. So, despite the mixed quarterly results, management raised its earnings per share guidance for the rest of fiscal 2018. Earnings per share are now projected to be between the range of $3.15 to $3.25 per share. This is up from the prior guidance of $3.02 to $3.20 per share. So, like we said, mixed from Dick's, but
about as mixed as you can get, actually, because it's like for every good thing that you mentioned, there was also a bad thing. Yeah, it's like earnings solid, margins improving, comps really not so good, revenues below expectations, e-commerce growing, good.
Yeah.
Guidance up, good. Cash not so good. Balance sheet looking like potentially that cash to debt ratio is going to be troublesome here in the
So we'll see
future.
how they do.
I always bring this up with Dick's Sporting Goods. When was the last time you were in a Dick's Sporting Goods?
Oh, that's a great question.
I used to frequent it a lot. that's a horrible sentence. But I used to go frequently when I was a kid, and I literally can't. It used to be an exciting in-store experience for me when I was younger, and I generally avoid Dick's Sporting Goods these days. I know that's one anecdote, doesn't really say much, but there's not as great of a selection of stuff as you'd think there would be in there because
I don't feel like not anymore, not what they used to carry.
And it feels like there's certain sections of it where you can tell they have some sort of deal with somebody because it's just one brand of stuff. If you go in for the literal last time I was in for a Dick's Sporting Goods was over a year and a half ago. I was trying to get a hydration pack, like a Camelback type of situation. Went in, it was exactly what I described. Obvious that they had some sort of deal with somebody. It was one single brand, just a million different colors of the exact same style bag. It's like, oh, sick. I don't want any of these.
Yeah.
I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to leave without buying anything. And mental note, Dick's Sporting Goods, not going to go back.
Yeah. But like in all like the top brands they carry, North Face,
Mm-hmm.
Adidas, Nike, Under Armour, if I want to shop at any of those brands, I'll just go to Nike.com.
Yeah, exactly.
Adidas.com.
Exactly.
I don't think of, or, Northface.com. I don't think of going to Dick's to shop for Nike.
Yeah. Or in a lot of those cases with those brands, just Amazon. And,
Yeah.
and they're prime eligible
I will
for a lot
say,
of those brands.
This past summer, I was looking at hiking boots or like a hiking, like running shoe. So I was like, well, Dick's.
Yeah.
Or because I don't want to spend like $400 at a nice one at REI because I don't like need something like that intense, but maybe like a mid-range or cheaper option. But
that's about it right there.
I didn't necessarily like then like go into a Dick's.
Yeah,
I was just shopping on DickSportingGoods.com.
So still serviceable. Dick's service that I was gonna say that same kind of point is like I guess if there's a deal on DickSportingGoods.com. I'll be there for sure.
Yeah.
If they, maybe I'll go check to see if they're still running some Cyber Monday stuff this week because it's once you get these e-commerce platforms, hashed out and well put together, they become just another option.
But
for us
you grew up in Rockford, Michigan.
Yes,
I grew up in Rockford, Illinois,
which is crazy. We don't talk about this enough.
And not like rural towns, but rural
suburbs,
enough.
Yeah.
Where I feel like Dick's it was like the place to go, at least like when I was growing up in high school, where like that was like, if you needed anything like sports related, hunting, not like I hunted, but like that kind of like outdoor living related, that's where you went.
Yeah. And it feels like there's so many options that don't even require me to leave my house to get that type of stuff now.
Yeah.
I guess DickSportingGoods.com is still one of those options as well, to be fair to them. And they're seeing some growth with e-commerce and still managing to post decent earnings results and up that earnings guidance despite sluggish sales. So, as we said, mixed. And, I like your point. Still serves a purpose, especially in a specific price point.
Yeah.
But potentially just doesn't quite have the clout that it used to.
Yeah.
Almost like reminds me of a Barnes and Noble type of story where struggling to generate momentum just because, it's just one of those businesses that was very Amazonable, if you will.
It was. But I guess maybe to counterpoint that, I went into Barnes and Noble on Black Friday and it was popping.
Really?
Yeah. But they were running a good promotion. It was 25% off one item.
Yeah.
And they had a good promotion on paperbacks. It was like buy two, get one free.
Love that.
Or, buy one, get half, like buy one, get one 50% off or something on paperbacks. And they had like a great selection of like just released in like the last 2 years, like a good selection of books. There were people everywhere in that store.
Yeah.
And I got like 2 or 3 new books. I was like, then I felt good about like, oh, I'm supporting like this like brick and mortar bookstore, even though it's like a giant, really. It's not like it's not like an independent bookstore or anything like that.
But that's kind of what it feels like these days because of how they've been struggling.
Right. It's not like I bought it from the Amazon bookstore here in Chicago, where I could have gotten the books much cheaper.
Also cool. Those are cool.
Because I'm a Prime member and they are very cool.
Yeah, they're very cool stores. I love a Barnes & Noble too, though. And my dad actually was just like, hey, what do you want for Christmas? Like, I'm looking to grab you some stuff this week. And I'm
Yeah.
like, mostly books, actually.
Yeah.
So
So it's just, but like, I don't necessarily know if it was just like the Turkey 5. It
Yeah,
was
yeah,
just
yeah.
going to be that busy on Turkey
Yeah.
5
Yeah,
or
we'll
during
see.
Turkey 5. So anyways.
all right, so we're gonna move on, and we're gonna leave you with not news per se, but kind of a thing to think about, thing to watch for the weekend. You were probably gonna be watching it anyway, or reading it, or whatever, listening about it, because it's gonna be all over the news, I would imagine, this weekend, and that is, of course, the G20 summit in Buenos Aires. This is for especially U.S. investors going to be a huge key, massive, really can't understate that, update on global trade tensions, specifically those between the U.S. and China. So there's going to be a meeting between President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. I believe it's going to be over dinner. I've said this on like multiple Zach's platforms now this week. So if you see any of my other content, you'll be annoyed of this already. But my main question mark there is, what in the hell are they eating together? Because I'm just fascinated by, do they get that catered? Is that local Buenos Aires food?
Oh.
Is Trump just going to get some cheeseburgers and a Diet Coke? Like, how does this work
Or
out?
steak and ketchup.
Yeah, steak and ketchup.
But maybe it'll actually be like good, but he does like a steak well done, so it won't be good regardless.
Right. I think they have like really good steaks.
No, I mean, but like what I'm saying is it'll be a good cut of steak,
Oh, yeah.
but he'll order it well done, and then he'll ruin it.
Yeah, and just douse it in ketchup. Anyway, this is all speculative, but the real important stuff here, putting aside what they're going to be eating, is it's likely to be a very consequential event, perhaps the most consequential event at the G20. Wall Street obviously desperately wants to see progress made on a deal between the U.S. and China. And for me, I think any setbacks, including these two leaders leaving and talking about hikes of existing tariffs or additional tariffs on new goods, is going to cause some serious volatility on Monday, Tuesday, into next week. I don't know. I don't think that they're going to have, anywhere near a fleshed out deal after this. Maybe they will come back with like 400 pieces of paper. There's ketchup stains everywhere, and they just hashed it all out over dinner. I don't think that's going to happen, but I do think a simple things are better, a handshake, a nice picture, everybody smiling and waving, saying we want to get this done. That's something that is going to help extend somewhat of a rally that we've seen this week on the back of hopes of that. I almost feel like that much is being priced in right now, and that's what investors are expecting. So if they don't get along and, both sides come away saying they don't want to get a deal done, they don't want to talk to us, they don't want to compromise, that's gonna be bad news. That's gonna be not good news. What exactly happens, or what exactly the tone is going to be, I'm not 100% sure. It seems like the U.S. side of things are coming in optimistic and positive. I've heard from, or seen from, some people who would know this same type of stuff on the China side that perhaps it's not that close to getting done. Perhaps the sentiment isn't that great. On the other hand, though, we've seen a couple of reports out of the South China Morning Post, which is state-run news publication there, that the sentiment has changed in recent weeks. So that's a good sign. A not so good sign from the U.S. side is that Peter Navarro is now apparently going to go to the dinner.
Okay.
Originally, he was not invited. He is, let's say, not a big fan of China. A China hawk is what some would say. He's written, I think, 3 books that are about China, and I would say not framing China as a friend of the United States, to say that absolute least there, because he is a polarizing figure. So we'll see if he actually shows up or if he's invited. I don't know if the Chinese officials are going to be happy to see him. And there's that. And that's all we can say about it, because we have no idea what's going to happen outside of that. The other thing I would say probably going to come out of this is some headlines about Saudi Arabia. Many attendees here at the G20 have obviously publicly rebuked the Khashoggi killing and the Yemen conflict in recent weeks. I don't think the Saudi representatives are going to be welcomed openly by everybody there. It's probably going to be tense at times. I don't know if that necessarily is a story that says anything to U.S. investors specifically about stocks here. I think the more consequential thing involving the Saudi Arabians is going to be next Friday's OPEC meeting.
Sure.
And we'll see what happens there. So as you start, we're going to wrap up by...
Well, and then whatever happens at the G20 summit with the Trump-Xi meeting particularly, but this is all in light of what's happening with the current Mueller investigation.
Yeah.
So
that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole, right. We don't have to get into it,
Yeah.
but like, this is like, right. So like, it's just very busy. So we, with Manafort, Michael Cohen, Trump's personal lawyer, the ex-personal lawyer,
hard X on that. Yeah.
But like, right. So like, not only is like that happening, but now Trump is in Buenos Aires and trying to create this like trade deal with China.
Yeah, he's
and
had quite a week. Yeah.
It's just like one thing leading to the next.
Yeah.
And you're just like, it's a whirlwind.
Yeah, it's almost it's overstimulating at times. There's too much.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was going to wrap it up by going back to something you said earlier, was positive headlines, negative headlines, wild headlines.
It's been honestly a crazy week. And I think it's because it's the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Nobody did anything over Thanksgiving, so now you got to get it 2 weeks worth of stuff. Yeah.
On turkey, and now it's like...
That's exactly right, I think. So a lot of stuff to watch, a lot of stuff that already happened. We will be back, of course, next week to give you all the juicy details from G20. Other than that, shoot us an email, podcast@zax.com, if you feel that we missed something, or if you want us to cover a different story. Also, remember, you can check out all of our other exclusive audio content at zax.com/podcasts. Please subscribe and leave us a rating on Apple Podcasts. Definitely helps us grow the show. We're also available on SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, basically anywhere you can get spoken audio content. Yes.
We should do one on ASMR.
Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you next time on the Zax Friday Finish Line.